5 seniors on this Maple River squad. And a 3-2 to Nelson is a swing and a miss. And a strikeout there for Hayfield. That's brought to you by another Absolute Ag strikeout. Brought to you by Absolute Ag in Hayfield, the premier livestock waste handling service around. You can give them all the crap you want. Call Cody at 507-259-9054 to schedule your job. And the next man up, Isaiah Anderson here with 1 out and a runner on second. First strikeout, of course, for Fritcher. And it's a 1-0 delivery. Man on second, 1 out now. That was inside and moves Anderson back a bit. 2-0. Isaiah, senior, DHing today in place of Devin Ward in the lineup, who's playing right field. Again, Simon gets his lead, and this one is ripped to right and diving, but caught out there, and no advancement for Simon on a nice grab by Carver Height for out number 2 on a fly to right field. And Lucas Doring comes up, junior first base. See if he can get Simon in. Both teams now starting out with a leadoff triple in Hayfield's case, leadoff double in Maple River's case. Interesting to see how it all plays out here. Checks the runner at second, does Fritcher, and he delivers. Swing and a miss by Doring, makes it strike 1. 2 down, runner at second. Scheduled for 7 here, bottom of the first. And Fritcher checks the runner. Now the 0-1 is strike 2 called. 0-2. Coach Kreckling of the Vikings telling me that Fritcher throws 85 to 88 miles an hour, which is pretty good stuff for a high school pitcher. And that left hand also deceiving to a lot of batters too. And he's facing a lefty right now. And Doring, and he fouls that one off. Got a piece of it into the fence. We have a lot of your job. Yeah. We're thankful for the net.
Spring is here and the farmers are back in field spring of their year's crop. This Hayfield Maple River baseball matchup is sponsored by Hodgman Drainage. Their dedicated team specializes in underground solutions using state-of-the-art technology, delivering superior results. Proudly serving area farmers since 1982. When it's time for drainage design and installation, contact Hodgman Drainage at 507-528-2225.
Back here in Minnesota Lake for the Maple River Hayfield Tilt here, high school baseball action. By the way, tell people that are out of reach of Power 96 at 96.1 FM that we have the video and audio streaming worldwide, 3 locations, 3 platforms online. It's our website, kqprfm.com, and then right at the top there it says videos and something or other. You'll see it. It's right there. You just click it, and it'll take you right to the video. That's the most secure location. Then we do have a YouTube channel, too. Just go to youtube.com and search for Power 96 Baseball. And also on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Power96MN. Those 3 areas is where you can get the video and audio of our games. But if you're outside the Power 96 listening area, tell your relatives they can listen to their youngins right here. Live and in person. Here's the top of the second, scoreless here as Skylar Jenkins delivers to the number 5 hitter, Isaiah Temple. And it's ball 1. What was your name, Connor? Connor, the scoreboard guy. He's on top, man. You're like the best one I've seen so far. You don't guess, you know. There's a grounder to short, and the throw is in time. Scooped out of there by Lucas Doring at first, but Max Nelson with a nice play at short to get leadoff batter Isaiah Temple on a 6-3 putout. 1 up, 1 down for Ethan Slothog. He is the left fielder here for the Vikings tonight. Today. Jenkins, the righty, delivers to right-handed hitting Slothog, one of the stars of the basketball championship, state championship for Hayfield. Stands in, and it's a 1-0 count to him. Here's the next pitch. Ooh, that was way inside. He dives out of the way. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes to Slothog. I should mention the scoreboard, scoreless after 1, brought to you by North American Homes. Your hometown lumberyard, North American Homes in Minnesota Lake. When you're planning to build a new home or tackle a renovation or building project, Nordis is the best place for you to call. 800-658-7076. And another one out of the strike zone. It's 2-1 now is what it boils down to here to Slothog with 1 out in the top of the second. Nobody on. Scoreless game. That one's nubbed back to the pitcher. Gets it on 1 hop. And Jenkins to Doring for out number 2 on a 1-3 put out. 2 up and 2 down for Eric Bungum, who is the shortstop for the Vikings. Clad in their gold/yellow jerseys and white pants. Maple River in their eagle green with the white letters. And silverish pants, gray maybe. I might be colorblind. I don't know. Strike 1 is called to Bungum. And it's 0-1. 2 down, nobody on here in the second, top of the second. Jenkins delivering. That one is grounded again towards short and grabs it over to first, and it's a 1-2-3. Max Nelson to Doring. 2 of those put outs, 6-3. And a 1-2-3 inning for Skylar Jenkins and the Maple River Screaming Eagles. It is scoreboard brought to you by Viking Realty in Hayfield, specializing in farm properties as well as residential homes. You can call 507-477-2649 or visit hayfieldhomes.com to find your dream home. It is scoreless after an inning and a half. And Maple River coming up to bat here with a nice defensive effort there. 1-2-3 for the 5, 6, 7 hitters. And coming up here in the bottom of the second, they have their 5, 6, 7 hitters. Mason Frank, Skylar Jenkins, and Dylan Doyen coming up to face Ethan Fritcher, who had 2 strikeouts in that first inning. Gave up the leadoff double. In fact, the only hits in the game, that leadoff triple by Fritcher in the top of the first, and then the leadoff double by Bowden Simon for Maple River in the bottom of this first inning. As Fritcher keeps taking those warm-up tosses. Umpire tells him he's got 2 more. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, Hodgman Drainage and Dodge Center, Mapleton Farm and Home of Mapleton, Sports Headquarters, Highway 22 in Mapleton, North American Homes of Minnesota Lake, Viking Realty of Hayfield, Absolute Ag of Hayfield, and Southeast Minnesota Real Estate of Hayfield. Thank you one and all, as well as, I think I covered them all. I think I got them all. It's pretty good. I got too many papers here. But we're about ready to go. Here's bottom of the second of a scoreless game. Hayfield and Maple River with the Eagles coming to bat. And Mason Frank, the junior second baseman, will lead things off against Fritcher. Ethan, the lefty, winds and fires. That's high and outside for ball 1. This field looks like something I played on as a little leaguer way back 50 years ago. Could have been. If there might have been a puddle out there. I hit a double. I was a leadoff hitter. I think I hit a double opposite field, right in the puddle. It was a ground rule double. One of the highlights of my young career. I hit a home run once too, not over the fence. It was inside the park job, and I was not built, gifted with speed. There were a couple of errors in that, but we don't count those. When you're like, I was in 5th grade, I think. 2-1 now to Frank, and a swing and a miss makes it 2-2. Skylar Jenkins on deck. Leadoff batter here, bottom of the 2nd, 2-2 count. On the way from Fritcher, and that is swung on and missed. And the 3rd K for Fritcher. And it's another Absolute Ag strikeout. Brought to you by Absolute Ag in Hayfield. Premier livestock waste handling service around. Call Cody at 507-259-9054 to schedule your job. 1 up, 1 down. Skylar Jenkins steps in and takes strike 1. As Fritcher seems to be dialed in. As he winds and fires, and a half-check swing there, but he went far enough, so 0-2. 0-2 with 1 down, nobody on here, bottom of 2. Homestanding Maple River. Fritcher delivers and makes Jenkins dance, pitcher to pitcher. So ball 1, 1-2. There's the delivery. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. The catcher gets away from him, but he throws down to first, so it'll count as a K. And that's 2 up and 2 down. And another Absolute Ag strikeout. Brought to you by Absolute Ag in Hayfield. Premier livestock waste handling service. Give them all the crap you want. They don't mind at all. Call Cody at 507-259-9054 and schedule your job. And now Dylan Doyen steps in. He's a junior left fielder with 2 outs and nobody on, and he swings at one that looked a little high, but it's tough to back off of these Fritcher pitches. He's got normally some pinpoint accuracy, and he throws very fast, so you don't want to be behind on it. And that's strike 2 outside and high. Good eye by Doyen there, and he's working on it 2. He's got 3 strikeouts in a row, and 4 of the last 5 batters have struck out against Fritcher. 3:15 down the line and right. 3:45 to center. That one's up the middle. Base hit for Doyen, and he rounds first, but hangs on there with a single. Breaks up the K parade for Ethan Fritcher, and Brady Walters will be up, senior catcher. So yeah, 3:15 down the line and right, and then it goes way out to 3:45 in, I'd say right center, and then left. That's quite a poke to get out there. Throws it. There's a light pole right by the scoreboard, which is out in right field, and by the light pole, the fence actually comes in a little bit, and that's probably the shortest for 2 outs of the park right there by the scoreless bottom of the 2nd. Maple strike call to the side, 4 up and 3 down. 5th strikeout for Fritcher, and that's another Absolute Ag strikeout. With Absolute Ag in Hayfield being the premier livestock waste handling service around, get used to hearing it. You can give them all the crap you want. Call Cody at 507-259-9054 and get your job scheduled. It is an inning and a half in. Actually, two complete now. Scoreless here in Minnesota Lake for Maple River against Hayfield. And the Maple River scoreboard brought to you by Nordis American Homes, your hometown lumberyard built for a lifetime of living. Designing and building your new home is an exciting time. Nordis team. Well, defense so far is ruling the day. It's scoreless after 2. Maple River hosting Hayfield here in Minnesota Lake. And if you're watching online, our video feed is kind of lacking. But then, of course, we are in the middle of nowhere. My apologies to Minnesota Lake people. I like Minnesota Lake. I grew up in Mapleton, so right next door. And but I mean, I don't see a lot of towers out here with Wi-Fi service. So just saying, it might be a little sketchy, but you can always catch the audio at Power 96. We should be blasting in pretty good to the area here. Starting the 3rd inning, and Jenkins inside and low for ball 1 to Leadoff batter Isaac Watson, the DH for Hayfield. Scoreless here. 2 hits for Maple River, 1 for Hayfield. And a K parade for Ethan Fritcher. The Hayfield pitcher's got 5 strikeouts through 2 innings, 5 of his 6 outs. And 1 for Skylar Jenkins, but still a goose egg on the scoreboard, so same effect. He's got a good defense behind him so far. 3-0 though to the leadoff batter here. Nolan Clockey in the lineup, who is the center fielder. Putting the man on. That's the second walk for Skylar. Everybody out here on the top of the third. Runner fakes going, and the pitch is ball 1. Clockey, and then the top of the order with Fritcher due up next. Everybody concentrates on Hayfield being 16-0, 11-0 in the conference, and there's a runner going on a low pitch, and the ball seemed to be there on time. It would have been a close play, but it gets away from Maple River second baseman Mason Frank, and safely in is Watson with a steal of second. So now a runner in scoring position, and the count is 2-0 to Clockey. And I was mentioning the 16-0 start for Hayfield. They rave about them, number 1 in the state. Maple River has quietly had a very good year. Second place in the Gopher, to Hayfield, of course. 11-4 overall, 8-3 in the conference. So a good squad on either side here, as it's 2-1 now to Nolan Clockey with Fritcher on deck. 2-1 with a runner at second. Nobody out. Top of the third, and the pitch. He showed bunt, pulled back, and it was ball 3. Three and one. Here's Gaines to Clockey, and it is lifted. It was safe on the left side, and a lot of people can't get to it. That fair ball, just a danger, and on his way to third. Some of them over 500 on the season, and we're late in the season. I know in Fritcher's case, he's well over 500, average 700 on base. 6 home runs he's hit this year, over the fence home runs, Fritcher. Fritcher the pitcher. That's what he is. Quite a crowd growing on here. Looking good. A lot of cars down the right field line. A lot of bleachers filled with people. Good to see. No masks. Everybody having fun. And here we go. Fritcher. And nobody out. Ball 1 to him. Jenkins looks in, gets the sign, checks the runner at third. Pitch on the way is a ball. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Jenkins to Fritcher, pitcher to pitcher. Jenkins sets, delivers. It gets away from the catcher Walters, and scampering down to second is Clockey. So second and third now. I don't know if that was a pass ball or a wild pitch, but either way, down to second goes Clockey to make it second and third and nobody out. With the always dangerous Ethan Fritcher that just walked him. Or hit him, walked him. I think they just decided to walk him. It's the third walk for Jenkins. And brings up Joey Temple. Struck out in the first. He's a right-handed hitting third baseman. Still nobody out, and the bases are juiced with Vikings. Inside, ball 1. Hole to dig out of here is the third baseman, and into left. 1 run in. State of Minnesota. 2 in, and it's a single, a 2 RBI single for Temple. As as both Watson and Clockey cross home. And to second is Fritcher. So first and second now with nobody out. And into the box steps Carver Height. He walked his first time up and was caught stealing later in the inning. First and second. Fritcher gets the lead off second. Temple off first. Here's the pitch. Jenkins to Height. And that is ball one. 2-0. Hayfield takes the early lead here. Bases loaded single, scoring 2, just the batter before this. Height takes a look with Lucas quickly at the second runner at second, and then delivers a strike called. Jenkins had a little trouble finding the strike zone, although the ones that do get in there have been blasted for hits lately, so he's got to compose himself and get back into the groove. And that one is fouled out of play. Over the bus, over everything, into somebody's yard. That goes across the street. Hey, that dog could probably retrieve it that was over there earlier. He's a good retriever. It's 2-2. And the runner goes off a second. That's Fritcher, and into third safely. So runners at the corners. And nobody out. Oh, no, there's one out. So it's Lucas Hansen stepping in after the K, the second one of the game for Jenkins. Strikeout, almost strikeout throw-out double play, but not quite. It's a nice play down there, and throw from Walters to Simon, but Fritcher, not only can he pitch and hit, he's got some speed. Hansen, last time up, grounded to third. And the pitch is swung on and missed. It's an 0-1 count with one out. Runners at the corners. Hayfield up 2-0. Batting here in the top of the third. Jenkins looks in, checks runners. Whoop. We'll do it again here. Runners at the corners. One down. Jenkins checking runners. And the pitch. Bunted back to Jenkins. He's going to go to first as the run comes across. And a sacrifice bunt scores the run. As Fritcher comes in to make it 3-zip. Still now there's 2 outs. With Isaiah Temple up. He was out short to first, his first time out, leading off the second inning. The runner on second now. With 2 down, 3 runs in here in the third. After a scoreless first 2 innings, now the offense comes out. They've seen the pitcher a couple of times. Maybe that helps. Here's the pitch. That's fouled. Might be a thud over our heads. No, missed the building here. 1-1, nonetheless. 7th batter to face Jenkins here in the third. 2 down, 1 on second. Jenkins going towards second to try and 2 outs. The count is 3-1 to further movement on the bases for the Vikings. And that one skips in, ball 4. Again, runners at the corner. With 2 down, Ethan Slaughter coming up. That's the 4th walk for Jenkins. Bunt. He's got 2 strikeouts. 3-0 Hayfield. 8 batter, 2 RBI single. That one is a strike as well. 0-2. The 0-2 2 to right-handed hitting Ethan Slothog. Checking the runners and on his way to second before the pitch, well before. If Skyler had known, he could have stopped and thrown, but that was awkward-looking steal. Isaiah stopped halfway there thinking, oh, God, I'm dead. But Jenkins never turned around to look at him, so he just kind of walked off to second and got the steal. And that one is grounded foul, first baseline. Actually rolls back fair, so they're going to call it a fair ball, and played by the pitcher again. Ethan Slothog down on a 1-3 out twice in a row to end the inning, but they did come across with 3 runs that inning, did Hayfield. And the Hayfield scoreboard shows a 3-0 lead after 2.5. And Viking Realty in Hayfield specializes in farm properties as well as residential homes. Call 507-477-2649, or you can visit hayfieldhomes.com and find your dream home. As we head to the bottom of the third, they batted 8 guys there, Hayfield on the top of the third, to get their 3 runs. So, like I said, if Maple River got out of that, giving up just the 3, they had to feel pretty good, considering the bases were loaded with nobody out at one point. And the big hitter, Ethan Fritcher, was up, and he ended up walking. So Maple River will bat 9-1-2 here in the bottom half of the third. Ethan Evanson, junior center fielder, will lead off his first at bat, followed by Bowden Simon and Max Nelson of the Eagles. Facing a left-handed flamethrower, Ethan Fritcher, with 5 strikeouts in his 6 outs. He's faced 4 batters both of the first 2 innings. Gave up just a double. Well, I guess it was a single, too. It was a double and a single for 2 hits. 5 strikeouts. The other out was a fly ball to right. As he winds up his warm-up tosses, and we get set to go. Bottom of the third, 3-0 Hayfield. Homestanding Maple River coming to bat. And this will be after Evanson. It'll be the second time around the order, so maybe they can connect on a few here, as Hayfield did against Jenkins. And we're about ready to go. Stepping in, left-handed batter, Ethan Evanson, the 9 guy in the order. The junior center fielder. Followed by Bowden Simon and Max Nelson, facing Ethan Fritcher. And here's the first pitch, way high. Ball 1. I say the 9 hitter for Hayfield singled and scored. The 8 and 9 guys both got on and scored for them, so it's one of those anomalies, really. The 8 and 9 guys. You can't do anything with the first part of the order, but the guys down the line, doesn't mean they're bad players. It just means, you know, they're not normally your big hitters that you put up 3-4 in the lineup. But a lot of times it's the 8 and 9 guys who do some damage. 2-1 now to Evanson. And Fritcher winds and fires out, and Ian made him dance again. He's been inside on Evanson, and it runs the count to 3-1. I don't know if they lose concentration with the bottom of the order, but it happens quite often. Maybe I just notice it. It doesn't actually happen that often, but I just notice it and comes to mind. Here's the pitch. It's called strike 2, 3-2. Lefty against lefty. Normally, that would favor the pitcher. There's a swing and a miss. And the 6th K for Fritcher. And 1 up and 1 down. Bowden Simon, top of the order for the Eagles. He doubled his first time up. First pitch of the bottom of the first. He laced it to the outfield for a double to the left field fence. And Fritcher with the delivery. Strike on that outside corner. Strike 1. Seven outs, 6 of them by strikeout for Ethan Fritcher, who got 15 Ks in the first meeting between these two teams. Strike 2 now to Simon with Max Nelson on deck. Here's the 0-2. That one bounces in front of the plate. Lost the control on that one. It's 1-2. 1 down, nobody on for Maple River here in the bottom of the third, trailing 3-0. And a 1-2 count on Bowden Simon. And he swings and misses. Catcher drops it, throws to first. Strikeout is recorded. And that's 7. Absolute Ag strikeouts, brought to you by Absolute Ag in Hayfield, the premier livestock waste handling service. Call them at 507-259-9054 to schedule your next job. You can give them all the crap you want. And a pitch to Max Nelson is outside for a ball. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. Fritcher has not had a 1-2-3 inning yet. He's given up a hit in each of the first 2. That's ball 2. Strikeout in the first inning for Max on a 3-2 count. This is strike called 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of 3. And that's a strike called as well. 2-2 is the count to Max Nelson, senior shortstop. 3-0 Hayfield here in the third, scheduled for 7. And the next pitch is a swing and a miss. He struck him out. 1-2-3, first 1-2-3 inning for Fritcher. And he's up to 8 strikeouts now, and that's a Absolute Ag strikeout. And Absolute Ag in Hayfield, the premier livestock waste handling service around. They go to western Wisconsin, northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, all over the place. Call Cody to schedule your job at 507-259-9054. And the Viking Realty scoreboard shows it's 3-0 after 3 in favor of Hayfield. Viking Realty in Hayfield, specializing in farm properties as well as residential homes. Call 507-477-2649 or visit hayfieldhomes.com to find your dream home.
When you're in the market to buy or sell property, call Rich Rican at Southeast Minnesota Realty in Hayfield and put his 25 years of experience to work for you. Whether your search is for small town living, an acreage, hobby farm, or land, Southeast Minnesota Realty is there to help. Call Rich for a free property evaluation at 507-477-2000 or go to semnrealty.com and use his search portal and save searches features. When you see your new dream home, email Rich at semnrealty.com. And cheers to the home team from Southeast Minnesota Realty in Hayfield.
Power 96 is looking for camera operators to assist with our live streaming of high school sports. Pay will be on a per-game basis. If you're interested, either call us at 507-373-9600 during regular business hours or email power96@kqprfm.com.
To the fourth inning we go. And I think we got our, Reg, our tech man, has got our, hopefully got our video problems under control here and stop the cutting out in remote Minnesota Lake here as we start the fourth with ball 1 to leadoff batter. Who's up? Eric Bungum, that's where we are. The 7-hitter who grounded out the third his first time up. And another one bounces on the plate there, 2-0. Skylar Jenkins starting out a little out of control here to start the fourth. See if he can find that strike zone again with a 2-0 count now to Bungum. That one's low, but no bouncing. It's getting a little better. 3-0. The 3-0 to Bungum with Watson and Clockey next. And 4 straight walks him. It'll be the 5th walk for Jenkins. He's got 2 strikeouts, but they're going to go talk to him. At least catcher Walters is trotting out there. And Isaac Watson, the DH, will come up. The left-handed hitter walked his first time up, stole second, and then ended up scoring. 2 RBIs for Joey Temple, 1 for Lucas Hansen for Hayfield, and it's 3-0 in the 4th. Jenkins now back and ready to go. First pitch to Watson is ball 1. He's got Bungham leading off first. Watson is up, Clockey on deck. The 7, 8, 9 hitters had trouble with them last time around. Walked Watson and Clockey singled, and both of them ended up scoring in that 3rd inning. As a little outside, and Walters catches it and looks down to first to see if he wants to throw it to Doring to try and catch Bungham off the bag there, but does not throw it. 2-0 now to Watson. They throw over. That's Jenkins with a throw to first, and then back in time is Bungham. Nobody out, 1 on. 2-0 count here, top of the 4th, with a 3-0 Hayfield lead over Maple River. And looking at first, Jenkins then delivers. The runner fakes going, and it's ball 3, 3-0. A 4-pitch walk to Bungham, now 3-0 to Watson. Got to find the strike zone again, young man. Here's the 3-0. And that one's outside and gets away from the catcher, but he was going to take second anyway. It's a matter of holding them there, and they do. So back-to-back walks to start the 4th. That's 6 free bases from Jenkins. And they will go talk to him now. Coach, infield. We'll see what happens here, but the first 2 batters in the 4th get on via the walk with 9-hitter Nolan Clockey coming up. And he singled his first time up and scored. Still nobody out here in the 4th, and the Vikings leading 3-0. Yeah, Skyler's day is done as a pitcher. And trotting out there now is Isaiah Anderson, who was DHing. And he will give it a go on the mound. The senior. It takes some warm-up tosses to Walters, and we'll take a break here along with him. And we'll be back with more. It's 3-0 here in the 4th. Power 96 Sports.
When you're in the market to buy or sell property, call Rich Regan at Southeast Minnesota Realty in Hayfield and put his 25 years of experience to work for you. Whether your search is for small town living, an acreage, hobby farm, or land, Southeast Minnesota Realty is there to help. Call Rich for a free property evaluation at 507-477-2000 or go to semnrealty.com and use his search portal and save searches features. When you see your new dream home, email Rich at semnrealty.com. And cheers to the home team from Southeast Minnesota Realty in Hayfield. Farmers, when you need to have your livestock waste removed, the only name to know is Absolute Ag in Hayfield. They're the premier livestock waste handling service in southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, and western Wisconsin. Licensed and insured, Absolute Ag will get the job done. Feel free to give them all the crap you want. Call Cody at 507-259-9054 to have Absolute Ag schedule your job. 507-259-9054. And good luck, Vikings, in your quest for another trip to state this year.
Spring is here and the farmers are back in the fields for another year's crop. This Hayfield Maple River baseball matchup is sponsored by Hodgman Drainage. Their dedicated team specializes in underground solutions using state-of-the-art technology, delivering superior results. Proudly serving area farmers since 1982. When it's time for drainage design and installation, contact Hodgman Drainage at 507-528-2225. Power 96 is looking for camera operators to assist with our live streaming of high school sports. Pay will be on a per-game basis. If you're interested, either call us at 507-373-9600 during regular business hours or email power96@kqprfm.com.
Power 96 is 96.1 KQPR FM, Albert Lee, Minnesota, as we are back in action here in the fourth at a new pitcher here for Maple River is Isaiah Anderson, who comes in relief of Skylar Jenkins. And it's ball 1 to the first batter. He faces Nolan Clockey. Now he hits one for a double play. Nicely done. That's 6-4-3, I believe. Oh, okay, he's safe at first. I thought it was there in time. That was my mistake. So they got a 6-4 put out of Watson. Bungham goes to third. So 1 out and a fielder's choice for Clockey. And that brings up the top of the order and Ethan Fritcher. Isaiah Anderson was the DH. Now pitching. And it's a 1-0 count to Fritcher. 3-zip. Hayfield, there's a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch, fooled him there. 1-1. Pulled the string out. Runners at the corners, with Bungham at third and Clockey at first. And leadoff batter Ethan Fritcher up. He walked and tripled so far. Scored a run, stole a base. Grounder to second. Scooped up there. They go to second, get the lead runner. The run scores from third with now 2 outs as Bungham crosses the plate to make it 4-zip. But the out is recorded at second. Clockey is thrown out there. 2 down, and now Fritcher's on and a fielder's choice. And Joey Temple will be up. He had a 2 RBI single last time up and struck out in the first. 4-zip in the fourth. 2 down. Runner on first for Hayfield. And Anderson pitches, and it's blasted to left, but it's drifting foul and out of play. Ooh, that hit somebody's vehicle, it sounded like. Or was that the outhouse? Was that the porta potty? Something went thud over there. And my car's over there, by the way. I don't know. It didn't look like it got over the fence too far, and the cars are back a ways, but yeah, it could have hit that white building there. The equipment shed. And they throw to first, and back in time is Fritcher. It's an 0-1 count to Temple. With 2 down. Fritcher at first gets his lead. Anderson checks it and then throws in. Pitch is laced to left for a base hit. Fritcher's going to stop at second. So another single. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the 3-hitter Carver Height comes up. He walked and struck out so far. In the short time he's been out there, Anderson looks like he's got a good off-speed pitch. If he can establish the fastball, looks like he can work that in there for some strikes, but we shall see. They've been hitting them now. Hayfield getting warmed up. They're 4-0 lead. Runners on first and second. 2 down, top of the fourth. And Height in there with a 1-0 count. Anderson looks at the base runners and then steps off the rubber. One ball, no strikes. Anderson checking the runners and delivers home with a bouncer that gets away from Walters, but he keeps it close anyway, and no advancement for the base runners. 2-0, the count to Height. They have their pitcher, Fritcher, running mostly because they only have one person on the bench, and that is Cale Becker. They only brought 10 guys and 2 female managers, so I guess I've never seen it before, but maybe they could pinch run if they had to. It's 2-1 now to Temple, or actually to Height, the 3 batter here, and that's a ball 3-1. Well, there is an open base, but let's not even think about it. Let's try and get it out here. Isaiah, 2 down, a 3-1 count. That was low. He walked him, filled him up. Down to third goes Fritcher. Down to second is Temple, and on first is Height with 2 down, and that brings up Lucas Hansen, who grounded out to third his first time up, and then had a sack bunt RBI in the third. Right-handed batting first baseman Lucas Hansen with the bases juiced. 2 down in the fourth. Strike called from Anderson. Here's the strike 1 pitch with those bases loaded. 2 down. That one is called strike 2. Hansen let him go so far. Here's the 0-2. That one's outside. Ball 1. 1-2 to Hansen from Anderson. Fritcher with his leadoff at third. Temple on second. Height at first. And the 1-2 pitch is low and outside for ball 2. 2-2. Anderson trying to entice Hansen to swing at something out of the zone. Has not done that in the last 2 offerings. Now the 2-2. As called, strike 3. It's Anderson's first strikeout. And the third out of the inning with the bases loaded. They leave him loaded, but do pick up another run to go up 4-0. And the Hayfield scoreboard brought to you by Viking Realty. In Hayfield, specializing in farm properties as well as residential homes. You can call them at 507-477-2649 or visit hayfieldhomes.com to find your dream home. So we go to the bottom of the fourth with a 4-0 lead. Could be much worse, as Hayfield's had the bases loaded twice in the ball game. Leading Ethan Fritcher will be in his 4th inning of work here on the mound for Hayfield. He was at third, so he had to run across the field, and he's taking his time, of course. Don't want to tucker him out there as he has to pitch. Anderson will lead off here. He started the game as the DH in the 3 spot, and I would imagine Devin Ward is going to take Skylar Jenkins' 6th spot in the batting order, as Jenkins went to the bench after being removed as the starting pitcher. I believe that's how it'll go. We'll see. Isaiah Anderson, the 3-hitter, Lucas Doring, the 4-hitter, and Mason Frank, the 5-hitter, coming up here to face strikeout machine Ethan Fritcher, who's got 8 Ks through 3 innings. He's given up a couple of hits, a single and a double. And the other out of the 9 outs recorded was that fly ball to right field by the leadoff batter here, Isaiah Anderson. One of the few who have not struck out against Fritcher yet in this ball game. Actually, the guy who hit the double struck out against him, Bowden Simon, and so Dylan Doyen and Isaiah Anderson, the only 2 starters here to have yet to fan against Fritcher. As Anderson, again, flew to right his first time up. Steps into the right side of the batter's box. Now the relief pitcher for his Eagles. Trailing 4-0. Bottom of the 4th is underway with a strike called to Anderson. And the 0-1, Fritcher, lefty, delivers high, ball one. One and one to Isaiah. Senior DH now pitching. He ticks that one foul. 1 and 2. Again, we're on 96.1 FM radio-wise, but also streaming worldwide, video and audio at kqprfm.com. On our Facebook page, facebook.com/power96mn. There's another foul. Straight back here. So still 1 and 2. And on our YouTube channel, youtube.com, you just search for Power 96 Baseball, and it'll come up. And the pitch, 1 and 2, is laced to center for a base hit. No doubt about that one on a two-hopper to center fielder Nolan Clockey, who picks it up and gets it in, holding him to a single, but that was a nice hit. Third hit off of Fritcher, and a leadoff single. Now we get a pinch runner. Alden Derry will come in to run for pitcher Anderson, so he can get some rest between innings. Alden is a junior. And Lucas Doring to the plate, left-handed hitting first baseman, struck out his first time up. Facing Fritcher here with a runner on first and nobody out. Bottom of 4, trailing 4-0 Maple River. And the first pitch is a strike. 0-1. Takes a look at the runner. Being a lefty, that's easy for him to do. And a strike is called. 0-2 to Doring, to be followed by Mason Frank. Again, Fritcher checking the runner, and he delivers inside, ball one. One and two. Lefty against lefty. But, man, the lefties have a short porch out there at 3:15 down the line, down the right field line. It's a quick way to get a home run. Actually, we discussed it, the 307 or so at the light pole. That's quarter of the way in there to right field, but I don't know. It's a small target. I'd just rather go over the fence and down the line. But he hits it out to right center, and that's caught there by center fielder Clockey for out number 1. And Mason Frank comes up. Holding it first is Alden Derry, pinch running for Isaiah Anderson. Mason Frank struck out in the second inning, leading off the second. His only plate appearance. Right-handed batting second baseman. Anderson, I got to say, Derry getting his lead, and they throw over. And it gets away from the first baseman. No advancement, though. They're going to let him go because the ball got away there, and they're going to let him go down there. Was throw to from Pritchard to Hansen that got away from. Actually, I don't think Hansen had a good chance at it. He kind of made a stab at it. But on to second goes Derry. So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out for the Eagles as Frank is batting with no count yet. Lead off a second from Derry, and there's high, ball 1. That one skipped through the fence somehow. Maybe over it. Looks like a low screamer, so I must have hit a bad hop there. He got over that fence, which is only shoulder high or so, chest high. But it went across the highway. 2-0 now to Frank. Runner on second, 1 out. Bottom of 4. 4-0 Hayfield, and there's a strike called. 2-1 is the count to Mason. Skylar Jenkins on deck. Although I think it's Devin Ward. Can't see quite down there, but I think he would go in. Or maybe Jenkins keeps batting. I don't know. I'm not all the way up to snuff on all those little rules. There's a swing and a miss. 2-2. We'll find out when he comes up to bat. 2-2 to Frank. Fritcher checks the runner, delivers, low. 3-2. It's a full count. So, they got the base runner in a rundown, but he got safely into third on the throwback to the mound. So, a nice job there by pinch runner Alden Derry, who now is at third with one out. And Mason Frank has a great RBI opportunity here. Full count. Here's the 3-2. That's high. He walked him. Runners at the corners. It's the first walk by Fritcher. And brings up Skylar Jenkins. He's going to keep batting there. That's how that works. I thought if you came out of the game as a defensive player, maybe you were hit for, but no. Skylar gets to keep going. He struck out his first time up in the second inning. But now he's got runners at first and third and one out. Trailing by 4. A base hit would be very nice. A double could score 2. I'm not sure how fast Frank is, but he looks pretty speedy over there. Ball 1 now to Jenkins as Fritcher is starting to have a little trouble with the strike zone. He's not mowing them down as he did in the first 3 innings, but then again, Maple River's seen him a couple times through, and it always helps. There's a swing and a miss to make it 1-1 to Jenkins. Dylan Doyen on deck, who has, I'm just checking. Yeah, he's one of 2 players not to strike out against Fritcher. That one is a called strike. 1-2. One down. Runners at the corners getting their leads, and the pitch is fouled straight back and out of play. Stays 1-2. Be interesting, even more interesting ball game if Maple River can get back into this thing here with a golden opportunity here, and one down, and runners at the corners. And he lets that one go, and it's ball 2. 2-2. And we still haven't been hampered by weather. It looks like actually there's a lot of blue sky ahead above us. Some dark clouds too, and that one's fouled back. Still 2-2. Yeah, we may get lucky and get this one in dry. There were little sprinkles earlier, but nothing too bad. 2-2. Skied infield, left side, in fair play. No, drifting foul, but caught. Catch is made, and hustling all the way back to first. And the throw goes past first base. Nobody advances, but it was a pop-up to third for out number 2. And the runners stay. First and third, 2 down. And Dylan Doyen is up. He singled in the second inning. Single here would be big, make it at least 4-1. Here's the pitch. That's high, ball 1. 2 down. Runners at the corners for Maple River. Bottom of 4, trailing 4-0. Here in Minnesota Lake, that one's inside and low for ball 2. Got a base open. If they load him up, they're going to go talk to Fritcher. Infield and coach. See what happens here as they have a confab on the mound. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Mapleton Farm and Home of Mapleton, Hodgman Drainage in Dodge Center, as well as Sports Headquarters, Highway 22 in Mapleton, sponsoring the Maple River doubles and defensive double plays as well. Norris American Homes in Minnesota Lake with the Maple River scoreboard when they're up to bat. Viking Realty of Hayfield doing the Hayfield scoreboard on their half innings at bat. And Fritcher will stay in as the meeting is broken up. Absolute Ag of Hayfield, they're also doing the Hayfield pitched strikeouts and Hayfield home runs. We've mentioned their name a lot with Fritcher having 8 strikeouts. And Southeast Minnesota Real Estate of Hayfield with the Hayfield hit doubles and defensive double plays. And they throw to third, not in time. Runners at the corners, 2 down. And Dylan Doyen is up with 2-0 count to him. And he's 1 for 1 with a single in the ball game, and he rips one to left. That's on his horse, the left fielder, but it's hanging up there for him, and he makes the running catch. That's Ethan Slothog out there, who makes the third out and prevents the Eagles from scoring. They had a golden opportunity there, but couldn't push one across. So now we're through 4, and the Maple River scoreboard brought to you by Norris American Homes. It's 4-zip Hayfield. Norris American Homes, here, hometown lumber yard. They're in Minnesota Lake, and when you're planning to build a new home or tackle a renovation or building project, Norris is the best place for you to call. 800-658-7076. And I speak from personal experience. They did our addition on our house years ago. Did a fine, fabulous job. It was our south wing of our house, and they did a great job. They enlarged our garage and we had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom up there and a nice sitting area. Very nice job. So we go to the 5th. And Isaiah Anderson taking his warm-up tosses from Maple River. He's going to be facing the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Isaiah Temple, Ethan Slothog, and Eric Bungham. Trailing 4-zip, so they got to hold the score here to the Eagles defensively and try and get those bats going again. They had a pretty good run going there in the 4th, but could not push a run across. A lot of, I thought maybe this could be one of those 19-18 games because both teams are so good, but they're also good defensively, and it's showing so far with a 4-0 score. I mentioned too that Hayfield had one game that was decided by fewer than 7 runs, and that was a 6-4 win over Medford of their 16-0 start. The others were all 7 or more. In fact, they beat Maple River by 7. That was the next closest game they had this year so far. So 4-0, they're not used to these kind of games. By now, they'll be 10 running people, normally. So that'll show you Maple River's got a quality squad. It's got to get the bats going a little bit more. It's 1-1 now to leadoff batter Temple here in the 5th. As Isaiah Anderson in relief of Jenkins. Winds and fires. It's low and inside. It's going to be 2-1. Temple grounded out to third and then walked and stole a base in the 3rd. Has not scored. And no RBIs for the 5-hitter. It's a 3-1 count. Anderson can't afford to walk anybody here because they've got such a potent offense. And the 7, 8, and 9 hitters have been getting on base all game long. It's 3-2 now as he throws a strike. Eric Bungham has been on, scored a run, and Isaac Watson, the 8-hitter, has scored a run, and Nolan Clockey, the 9-hitter, scored a run. That's a grounder to second that bounces off second baseman Mason Frank and goes straight in the air and landed about 5 feet in front of him. He didn't know where it was. It's hard to call that an error. That was a hot shot to second. Maybe Major League Baseball, that's an error, but I don't think in the high school ranks that's going to be called too many times. So Temple is on, and that brings up Slothog, who has grounded out to the pitcher twice. And the first pitch to him is a called strike. 1 on, nobody out here in the 5th for Hayfield, and they lead 4-0. As Anderson looks in, and that one gets away from catcher Walters and on to second goes Temple. face first. His mom's going to make him do laundry tonight. He's filthy from head to toe. And it's a 1-1 count now to Slot Hog. Anderson checks the runner at second, Temple. And chawing on his gum, he delivers, and that's bunted foul by Slot Hog. Makes it 1-2, but he won't try that this time. One and two, runner at second, nobody out, top of the fifth. Hayfield up the bat, leading 4-zip. Isaiah Anderson, Maple River pitcher, tries to hit that outside corner, but a little bit off there, and it's 2-2. Can't beat the temperature, mid-80s. A little breeze, cooling things down from time to time. That's a foul ball, third base side. Hit his foot, right off his left foot, his lead foot. Looks like he's all right. He's not hobbling or anything. I'm sure it stung, but ready to go. 2-2. Anderson checks the runner, delivers home. Swing and a miss, and he gets his first strikeout. No, that's going to be his second strikeout because he struck out the last batter of the last inning. 2 Ks for Mr. Anderson. First out here in the fifth. And Eric Bungham is up. He grounded to third and walked. Scored a run after he walked. Still a runner at second, 1 out. That one's skied foul behind the plate. And Walters drifts back, but I think he's running out of real estate. That hits the stands there behind home for a strike. 1 down, runner on second. 4-0 Hayfield lead. The number 1 team in Class A for the state of Minnesota. They've lived up to it. Good pitching, good defense, good offense, but Maple River stuck with them here, 4-0. Had a chance to put a run or two on the board there in that fourth, but Eagles failed to do so, and hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt them, but we shall see as this plays out. We're, of course, scheduled for 7, and here in the top of the fifth, so they're running out of time. That one's outside and low. It's going to be a ball and 2 strikes now to Bungham. Isaac Watson will be due up next. Anderson checks the runner, delivers. Another one low, gets away from Walters and on to third. Scampers Temple. Now 90 feet away from a 5-0 lead. Well, Anderson and Walters not hooking up on that one. And a couple of them have gotten by Walters here this inning. 2-2 is the count. And he reaches and drives one foul, first base side, onto the highway. I still say if you hit a moving car on the highway, you ought to get a stand-up. It's just like it's a ground rule triple. Why not? I've talked to a lot of people here about it, and they say it's never happened, so it's got to be rare. So you give them a rarity. That one's fouled into the screen behind home. Still 2-2. Isaiah Anderson, a relief of Skylar Jenkins. He's got 1 out here in the fifth with a runner on third. And the 2-2 is, Gatso gets away from Walters again. The play at the plate is safe as Anderson was covering, and he got the ball and put the tag on, but not before Temple scored the 5th run of the ball game for the Vikings. 5-zip here in the 5th. And still just 1 out. Now nobody on. And Bungham with a 3-2 count. And he bounces one, third base, scooped up there by Simon. He gets it over to Doring for the out. on a 5-3 put out of Bungum for the second out. And Isaac Watson comes up, the DH who walked, stole a base, and scored in the third. And then walked again in the fourth, but was thrown out at second. He's a lefty. A left-handed batting DH. When you're in the 8th spot and you walk twice, you've got some good conditions. It's ball 1 to him again. And he swings and misses at that one to make it a 1-1 count. And 9-hitter Nolan Clockey up next. He's been on twice as well, on a single and a fielder's choice. And that one's fouled straight back into the screen. Ball and 2 strikes now to Watson. Isaac Watson steps in to face Isaiah Anderson. Couple of eyes there. 2-2 with 2 outs. Top of the 5th, 5-0 Hayfield. Maple River needs an out and get those bats working again. And that one is ball 3, so a full count again. A lot of pitches for Anderson in a short relief stint so far. Maple River in the bottom of the 5th has their 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up. As the pitch is fouled, first base. No, it goes behind me. I thought I was going on the first base line. It was right over my head. Optical illusion, or maybe my eyes are old. That's probably it. So, nonetheless, foul ball. Got that part of it right. 3-2. 2 down, nobody on. And Anderson steps off the rubber there and regroups. Chawing on that bubble gum. And the 3-2 is outside. He walked him. It's the first walk for Isaiah. The second walk for Isaac. He's been on. That's actually the 3rd walk. Oh, my Lord. The 8-hitter has walked 3 times in this game for Hayfield. That's when you know everything's going right. And they're up 5-0. 2 down now. Runner on first. And the 9-hitter, Nolan Clockey, who has been on twice as well with a single and a run scored. And then reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. First pitch to him is a ball. 1-0. One ball, no strikes. And a swing and a miss. Way late on that one. 1-1. Watson on first, taking a lead. Watched there by Doring. Held on, I should say. And the pitch swung on and lifted. It's drifting first base side. Second baseman going over to get it, but can't. He runs out of room. A drop too fast for Mason Frank. I don't know if Lucas Doring didn't see where it was. It would have been a quicker shot for him to get it, but Frank called it apparently and just couldn't get to it. So it's a long strike, 1-2. Two down, runner on first, 5-0 lead. And the pitch. And it's fouled again. Oh, that one almost hit the light pole. That would have been pretty talented, but it goes into somebody's yard across the highway. So it's 1-2 again. Should Clockey reach, it's the top of the order with Ian Fritcher. Isaiah Anderson delivers. That one's right back to him on the ground. He stops it, picks it up, throws to first, and Doring catches it for the out. And they stop the rally. They did get a run there, so 5-zip after 4.5 for a Hayfield lead. And the Hayfield scoreboard brought to you by Viking Realty in Hayfield, specializing in farm properties as well as residential homes. Call 507-477-2649 or visit hayfieldhomes.com and find your dream home. Oh, I missed that strikeout, too, by... they won't have a strikeout sponsor for Maple River, so forget I said that. I'm on top of the game. It's 5-0 after 4.5. We'll get to the bottom of the fifth after this.
Farmers, when you need to have your livestock waste removed, the only name to know is Absolute Ag in Hayfield. They're the premier livestock waste handling service in southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, and western Wisconsin. Licensed and insured, Absolute Ag will get the job done. Feel free to give them all the crap you want. Call Cody at 507-259-9054 to have Absolute Ag schedule your job. 507-259-9054. And good luck, Vikings, in your quest for another trip to state this year.
It's a lot better with the sound effects, I think. Fun people to work with there at Absolute Ag. Well, all of our sponsors, too. Very cool deal. I should run through them again. There's Absolute Ag in Hayfield, Viking Realty of Hayfield, Southeast Minnesota Real Estate of Hayfield, Nordis American Homes of Minnesota Lake, Sports Headquarters on Highway 22 in Mapleton, Mapleton Farm and Home of Mapleton, and Hodgman Drainage in Dodge Center. Thank you one and all for letting this be possible. Pretty good game here, even though it's a shutout. It's 5-0 into the bottom of the fifth, but the Hayfield had a couple of chances to really blow it open, and they did not. Maple River had a chance to get back into it and did not, or at least put a run on the board, if not more. We'll see what they do here in the bottom of the fifth as they lead off with the number 8 hitter, Brady Walters. Struck out in his only plate appearance back in the second. And lefty flamethrower Ethan Fritcher still out there with his 8 strikeouts. Didn't have any last inning, though. And he had it going on 8 through 3 innings in the K department. Starts out with ball 1 to Walters. He'll be followed by Ethan Evanson. There's a swing and a miss. Late on that one, 1-1. And Evanson on deck, and then top of the order, Bowden Simon. And the Fritcher pitch is a strike. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Pitcher Fritcher to batter Walters, and he reached for that one, a swing and a miss. Another K, that's number 9 for Fritcher, and another Absolute Ag strikeout. Brought to you by Absolute Ag in Hayfield, the premier livestock waste handling service around here, southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, western Wisconsin. You can give them a call at 507-259-9054. Schedule your next job. Here comes Ethan Evanson, the junior center fielder, batting left-handed. He had a strikeout. No, yeah, he struck out in the third. As Fritcher looks to get double digits in strikeouts again. I'm sure he does that most of his appearances. He's 5-0 on the year. His ERA, I got some numbers on him from his coach. He's not only the best pitcher on the team, he's the best batter on the team. Hitting over 500. Strike. That was quick. 2 down, 2 strikeouts here in the fifth. His 10th of the game, and brought to you by Absolute Ag. You can give them all the crap you want by calling Cody at a 507-259-9054 and schedule your next job. They are premier livestock waste handling service around. Fritcher, 25 innings, 51 Ks. He's averaging 2 strikeouts an inning, and that's pretty much it. He's got 10 in the fifth, so he's right on course. He's 5-0 on the year. Pitches in the mid-80s for speed. And then hitting .596 with 6 home runs, leading the team in those categories. So he's pretty good. And it's 1-1 now to Bowden Simon, the leadoff batter for the Eagles, who doubled to start the game for Maple River, and then he struck out in the third. He was stranded at second in the first when he doubled. And a strike is called. It's 2-2. As Fritcher works on his second 1-2-3 inning, he's trying to get the pitch fouled out of play. First base side. Ooh, and there was a car moving down the highway too, but he hit that one too far. he may have hit the house. I heard a thud. That one bounces in, so we're at full count now. To Bowden, junior third baseman. Right-handed batter. If he reaches, Max Nelson will come up. Or is due up anyway. There's a tick at the plate. He just got a piece of it and fouled it off. Stays 3-2. And the pitch, 3-2. Oh, and he crossed him up. Boy, Bowden thought about it, and then he thought no, but the umpire calls it strike three, and it's a 1-2-3 inning, all by strikeouts for Ethan Fritcher, who's at 11 Ks on the game now. Brought to you by Absolute Ag, the premier livestock waste handling service in the area. You can give them a call at 507-259-9054 and have Cody schedule your next job. And the scoreboard after 5 shows 5-0 Hayfield. It's the Nordis American Home scoreboard. And Nordis, of course, built for a lifetime of living. Designing and building your new home is an exciting time and a time for you to meet the Nordis team. Call 800-658-7076 and get the ball rolling.
Spring is here and the farmers are back in the fields for another year's crop. This Hayfield Maple River baseball matchup is sponsored by Hodgman Drainage. Their dedicated team specializes in underground solutions using state-of-the-art technology, delivering superior results. Proudly serving area farmers since 1982. When it's time for drainage design and installation, contact Hodgman Drainage at 507-528-2225.
All right, we run it into the 6th inning now. 5-0 Hayfield as they come to bat to start inning number 6 against Isaiah Anderson. They got 1 run off Isaiah there in the 5th. They scored 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. And here in the 6th, they will be at the top of the order. And Ethan Fritcher, the pitcher. Sorry, I sound like Dr. Seuss, but what are you going to do? It's his name. Anderson, right-hander on the mound, to left-handed hitting Ethan Fritcher, and here we go for the 6th inning, going scheduled for 7 here. 5-0 in favor of Hayfield. He bunts down the third base side. Anderson picks it up barehanded and gets him out. Over to Doring for out number 1. Nicely done on a 1-3 put out for 1 up, 1 down, and it's Joey Temple, who is the third baseman. Struck out his first time up, then singled, a 2 RBI single in the 3rd, and then singled in the 4th. So he's 2 for 3 with 2 RBI. And he bounces one, third base side, picked up there by, third baseman, he got it. Bowden Simon a little bit off on the throw on the up base side and the outfield side to Lucas Doring, but Doring able to corral it. He's a tall drink of water over there first, so he's got to reach. He got it and stepped on the bag, and that's 2 up and 2 down now for the Eagles. That on a 5-3 put out, and that brings up Carver Height. Carver has walked and struck out and singled. And it's 1-0 to him. Seeming like less and less rain now. Just feels better, a little less humid. Still warm though, in the 80s from Minnesota Lake. Maple River hosting Hayfield and trailing the Vikings 5-0 here in the top of the 6th. There's 2 outs, nobody on. And a 1-2 count to Height. Maple River by no means out of this thing, but they got to solve Fritcher on the mound here. He's been gaining steam here, striking out the side last inning. They had some base runners in the 4th, but couldn't push anyone across. That one's outside for ball 3. 3-2. Lucas Hansen is on deck. And Anderson delivers to Height, and he bounces one third base side foul. Still 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. Base is empty. 2 outs, top of the 6th for Hayfield, leading 5-0. And a swing and a miss ends the inning. And a 1-2-3 inning for Isaiah Anderson, who gets his second strikeout there for Maple River. And the Maple River scoreboard, or rather I guess it's the Hayfield scoreboard, since they were up to bat. Brought to you by Viking Realty in Hayfield, specializing in farm properties as well as residential homes. Call 507-477-2649, or you can visit hayfieldhomes.com and find your dream home. Well, Maple River now down to their last 6 outs as we reach the bottom of the 6th. 5-0 Hayfield. And up to bat here for the Eagles will be Max Nelson. The 2-3-4 hitters, Max Nelson, Isaiah Anderson, and Lucas Doring. Between them, they have a single, 3 strikeouts, and 2 flyouts to the center, to the outfield. As Ethan Fritcher has held the Eagles in check. 1 walk, 2 hits, including a double and a single. Maybe 3 hits. Yep, 3 hits. 2 singles and a double for Maple River with a walk and 11 strikeouts for Mr. Fritcher, the pitcher, as he is completing his tosses. And we'll get going here in the 6th inning of a 5-0 ball game. Maple River needs to get going now. You can't leave it all for the 7th. Got to chip away at it a little bit. They had that 1-2-3 inning from Anderson, so maybe he puts that together again in the 7th. And if you can get a couple 3 here, then you only need a couple 3 in the 7th to either extend the game or walk off with a win. Nobody's been able to beat these Vikings so far in 16 tries. And the pitch is strike called to Nelson. Struck out twice in the game, did Max. The 1st and 3rd. And he gets a hold of that one. Skies it straight up. Pitcher Fritcher is calling for it now into foul territory on the first base side, and he makes the catch on a pop-up to the pitcher for out number 1. And Isaiah Anderson will come up. The DH flew out to right his first time up and then singled and made it all the way to 3rd, but could not score. Actually, it was pinch run for by Alden Derry, but he couldn't score. Isaiah, the 3-hitter in the lineup, probably because he shows power. He's got to get a hold of one here. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the 6th, down to their last 5 outs is Maple River. And he fouls that one into the fence behind the mesh for strike 2. 0-2. 1 out. Nobody on. And the pitch. That one's outside. It's 1-2 now to Isaiah. It's the base rip. Get things started here. Lucas Doring on deck. There's the 1-2. That's fouled straight back and out of play. He's catching up to the fastball. He's just got to put it in play. This is the 4th time through the lineup for Maple River. And he swings and misses, but he gets away from the catcher, and he's got a shot at reaching, even though he K'd there, and he does. So we got a base runner, even though it was officially a K for another Absolute Ag strikeout. Brought to you by Absolute Ag. Give them all the crap you want. Call Cody and get your job scheduled at 507-259-9054, the premier livestock waste handling service. And on at first is Anderson with 1 out. And Doring is up. He struck out in the first and then flew out to center his second time up. 0 for 2. He is due. That one's high and a ball. 1-0. One down. Top of 6. Lead off at first by Anderson. I think he gets the pinch runner. Derry again. And that one is low for a ball. 2-0. A lot of room down the line. He's left-handed batter, of course, facing a left-handed pitcher. Doesn't always work that way, but fouls that one on the third base side. If he can pull it down the line, there's a lot of room out there in right. The right fielder playing in quite a bit, more by second base than first. And that would allow Derry to probably get at least to third on a single even. And that one's snubbed to the pitcher, and he turns and fires to first to get the batter out. That's Fritcher to Hansen on a 1-3 put out of Doring on a sacrifice, we'll call it, as Derry gets to second. 2 down. And here comes Mason Frank. Struck out in the second, walked in the fourth. Officially 0 for 1 with a walk. Derry gets his lead off a second, and here's the pitch. Strike called to Frank. Mason will be back next year for the Eagles, junior this year, the second baseman. Not overwhelmed with seniors, Maple River. So they'll lose a few, but a lot of guys coming back. I was trying to check Hayfield. I don't have the grade listings for Hayfield. They didn't want to divulge their ages. It's a 1-1 count. But I think Hayfield does have quite a few seniors. The same guys who won the basketball championship in the state. And there's a steal of third on the pitch that gets away. Safely in is Derry. He was at third last time around, too, and got stranded there. Now he sits at third with 2 outs. And the count is 2-1 to Frank. With 2 outs. Trailing 5-zip here at the bottom of the 6th. You've got to start scoring some here. A base hit starts it, but that one is fouled back to the houses across the highway to make it a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Should Frank get on, it'll be Skylar Jenkins due up next. And the pitch high. That makes it a full count of 3-2. Fritcher has a lot of pitches in him here, but he rocks and fires. That was inside, he walked him. It is only the second walk for Fritcher with his 12 strikeouts. And brings up Skylar Jenkins, who was the starting pitcher. Was relieved after, I think it was the 4th inning, or in the 4th inning. He steps in, having struck out in the second and then popped out to third base in the 4th. 0 for 2, strikes out with a called strike 1. Runners at the corners. 2 down for Maple River, trailing by 5. Bad swing at that one. He thought about swinging way too late, and then kind of a check swing, but it was a strike. 0-2. He's kind of mad at himself there, so needs to get a hold of one here. And 0-2. And he gets a hold of it up the middle to second base. Can he outrun the throw? Oh, it was an awkward throw to first, but they got him. As Lucas Hansen was drawn off the bag a little bit, but he just kind of rocked back and his foot hit the bag. And they got Jenkins for the third out on a 4-3 put out. And no run score again for Maple River, even though they had somebody at third. 5-0 now after 6, and your Maple River scoreboard brought to you by Nordis American Homes. your hometown lumber yard, Nordis American Homes in Minnesota Lake. When you're planning to build a new home or tackle a renovation or building project, Nordis is the best place for you to call. I'll give you that number, 800-658-7076 would be the number to call.
Spring is here and the farmers are back in the fields for another year's crop. This Hayfield Maple River baseball matchup is sponsored by Hodgman Drainage. Their dedicated team specializes in underground solutions using state-of-the-art technology, delivering superior results. Proudly serving area farmers since 1982. When it's time for drainage design and installation, contact Hodgman Drainage at 507-528-2225. Power 96 is looking for camera operators to assist with our live streaming of high school sports. Pay will be on a per-game basis. If you're interested, either call us at 507-373-9600 during regular business hours or email power96@kqprfm.com.
And we start the 7th and final inning, maybe. If Maple River can come back and tie it. We'll have more, but it's 5-0 Hayfield as they come to bat. And it'll be the 4-5-6 hitters against Isaiah Anderson here in the 7th. Lucas Hansen grounded out to third, had a sacrifice bunt, an RBI sac bunt in the 3rd, and then struck out in the 4th, which was Isaiah Anderson's first of his 2 strikeouts in relief of Skylar Jenkins. The foul across the highway and makes it 1-1 to leadoff batter Hansen here in the 7th. What's that? They keep trying to hit that guy's house over there. Bet he's thinking twice about. Of course, this is. Are they going to take this field out of here, Connor, or is it going to stay? It's blasted to center, but it's hanging up there and caught by center fielder Ethan Evanson for out number 1 here in the 7th. Needs to put a big net up in front of his house. Yeah. 20 feet isn't tall enough. 1 down here in the 7th. And up now Isaiah Temple. He scored last time up. After he singled, and then they had a walk and also a ground out to short. It's 1-1 now to Temple. Isaiah against Isaiah. Very biblical. At bat here. With 1 out. It's low, 2-1. Can't get much more biblical than Isaiah Temple. That's a double whammy. And he fouls that one straight back and out of play. That's headed for cars. And 2-2 rather. And Maple River down to their last 3 outs in the bottom of this inning. They're going to have to send their 7, 8, 9 hitters to the plate, so we might have some pinch hitters. They've only used Alden Derry off the bench as a pinch runner. But they have Nolan Buchholz and Jonah Willis and Thane Decker and Jordan Schnur on the bench. As a tractor comes by, that'd be an easy target. Come on, hurry up, pitch. Let's get another foul ball. It's 3-2 to Temple. And he follows. Oh, it's going after the tractor. Did he hit it?
No, fence caught it.
Dang.
It was going right for it, too.
That would have hit it, but the net got in the way. Dang it. Let's use some of that farm insurance. 3-2 again. Bounced in there, he walked him. It's the second walk given up by Isaiah. And the second walk for Isaiah. It's funny how that works out. 1 down, 1 on for Ethan Sluthog. Ethan hit back to the pitcher twice and struck out. So he needs to get one out of the infield, he's thinking. He was the second strikeout victim of Isaiah Anderson back in the 5th. And the last, there's a ball that gets away, and down to second goes Temple. Maple River's been plagued by that, whether it was Jenkins or Anderson. The ball has gotten by the catcher way too many times. Too many free bases that way. But I think they're lucky to be down 5-0 with a chance to get back into this thing if they don't allow any more runs here. But there's only one out now with a runner on second. And that one again out of the glove of Walters. And he's going to try and throw him out at third, but it skips away from third baseman Simon, but no advancement there after Temple slid into third safely. So now, a runner at third and one out for Slaughthog. He's 0 for 3, but he's due and just needs to, actually he could hit a sacrifice, hit it the other way, score the run. Very talented Hayfield squad, both pretty good clubs here, but Hayfield has showed their #1 ranking with tough defense and pitching. Well, pitching, of course, 12 strikeouts helps, you know. And just enough runs to get the job done. Now, this would be their second. If it stays 5-0, it'd be their second closest game of the year. And he walks Slaughthog to put runners at the corners. And that's his third walk. And where'd my cheat sheet go for? Did I throw it back in here?
Which cheat sheet?
My ID cheat sheet. It was sitting right there. Did I lose it? Power 96, 96.1, KQPR FM, Albert Lee, Minnesota. That's down the line, scoring a run, and going to be a stand-up double for Bungum on the first pitch he saw. It's an RBI double. And for Hayfield, that double is brought to you by Southeast Minnesota Real Estate. Rich Rieken has 25 years of experience selling properties all over Southeast Minnesota, and he can put you in your dream home by calling 507-477-2000 or online at semnrealty.com. Now runners at second and third. A run in here in the seventh to make it 6-zip. Slaughthog at third, Bungum at second. Watson is up now with one out and a 1-1 count to him. 2 hours into the ball game. There it is. I did it right, though, I think. I'm learning. There's a strike. 1 and 2. I don't think I'll need it again. It's a 1-2 count. 1 out, top of 7. 6-0 Hayfield. Right back to the pitcher. Looks the runner back at third. Throws to first for the second out. So Watson is out on a 1-3 put out. And the runners hold at second and third with Nolan Clockey up, the 9-hitter, who has a single and reached on a fielder's choice. And so he's 1 for 2. And bat right-handed. No, it's a pinch runner. It's a pinch batter. Cale Becker in for the first time. Their only bench player. Cale batting ninth now, and he's got strike one to him looking. So Clockey out of the game there. Replaced by Becker. The 0-1 is laced to center, but hangs up there, and it's caught so nicely by Evanson. And that's the third out. They get another run, though, and so the Hayfield scoreboard brought to you by Viking Realty, and it shows 6-zip after 6.5. Viking Realty in Hayfield specializes in farm properties as well as residential homes. Call 507-477-2649 or visit hayfieldhomes.com to find your dream home. Maple River down to the last 3 outs here, trailing by 6 and facing, well, let's see if they bring him out for another inning. Doesn't look like it. Looks like we have a new pitcher. No, he's just walking by. Where's Fritcher? They have number 6 in there now. That's Becker, who just pinch hit. He will come in as the closer. Cale Becker. I'm not sure where. If you see a number 4 out there, Reg, let me know where he's playing. Because that's where Fritcher went. Unless he's sitting on the bench. He's number 4. Because that could be either Clockey on the bench or Fritcher.
That's Fritcher out there.
And
The second one from the left there.
also he's going to be a center field. Well, they put Fritcher out in center. Clockey is out of the game after being pinch hit for by Becker. And Becker will pitch. So 12 strikeouts for Fritcher. And 2 walks given up, and he had a shutout going through 6. Dominating performance. Had Maple River had runners at third base a couple times in the game and couldn't push one across. But now down to their last 3 outs, so the new pitcher in the game. And he has thrown one to the backstop here. Of course, it's just warm-up tosses. And the umpire missed one. He does not have hops, that umpire. He hops about as high as I do, which is barely off the ground. As we get going here, the last of the warm-up tosses for Becker. And again, thanks to our sponsor, Sports Headquarters in Mapleton, Highway 22. Maple River doubles and defensive double plays they'd been sponsoring. They got, I think they had a double in there, yeah, to lead off the game for Bowden Simon. Norris American Homes of Minnesota Lake sponsoring the scoreboard. Viking Realty of Hayfield, Hayfield scoreboard. Absolute Ag of Hayfield with the pitch strikeouts and Hayfield home runs. They've had quite a run here with 12 strikeouts. Southeast Minnesota Real Estate of Hayfield with Hayfield doubles and defensive double plays, as well as Mapleton Farm and home of Mapleton and Hodgman Drainage in Dodge Center. Here we go at the bottom of the 7th. Last chance ups for Maple River, trailing 6-0. And strike 1 is foul ball. Dylan Doyen, Brady Walters, and Ethan Evanson are due up here, the 7, 8, 9 hitters. And Doyen has a base hit in 2 trips. And he gets just gets a piece of that one and sends it to the backstop, so 0-2. Here's the 0-2 from Cale Becker to Dylan Doyen, and that is outside. A ball 1-2. Young Connor, I'm impressed with your abilities over there with the scoreboard. I don't know how many games you get to, but boy, I'll tell you, there's a lot of confusion out there, and you have none of it. You are on the ball, man. So good job. 2-2 to Doyen. And the lefty reliever misses with that one, 3-2. Yeah, I'm constantly correcting scoreboards, and I haven't had to do that to you at all. That one's high. He walked him. Boy, he had him 0-2, I think, and lost him there on a walk to lead off the 7th. Becker's first walk, obviously, his first batter faced. Brady Walters is up. Now he's struck out twice. Catcher, senior, Maple River. Have worked their way to an 11-4 record, 8-3 of the conference, and down 6-0 here. Doesn't look good, but you know what? This is why they play the game. Anything can happen. There's nobody out and one on. They start stringing some hits together, and you never know. Besides that, Fritcher's out of the games. That helps. That's a foul down the third baseline and out of play. 0-1 to Walters, with Ethan Evanson due up, and the 9 spot next. So runner at first is Dylan Doyen, and now the pitch is, again, out of play behind the plate. It's 0-2 to Walters. Maple River's 8-9 hitters have struck out 4 times between them, all 4 at-bats. So they are due. They got rid of Fritcher now. Maybe they can get a hold of one with Becker pitching, but still the left-hander. That one handcuffs the third baseman, and everybody's going to be safe. And on the way to third, and the throw is there, but they got him. Well, it was a good hustle. Could have stayed at second, but he pushed the issue there and was thrown out at third. Was Doyle for the first out of the seventh. Walters on at first. Nice throw there by the first baseman, Hansen, over to Temple at third to get the sliding Doyen for the first out. And that one gets away from the catcher and down to second goes Walters. Evanson, batting lefty, has struck out twice. And he's got a 1-0 count now with a runner at second. Little duck out there. Can avoid the shutout anyway. Let's start with that and just get a base hit here. Strike is called, 1-1. Becker looks in. Oh, yep, calls time. And we're set to go again with a 1-1 count. 1 out. Runner on second for Maple River, trailing 6-0, bottom of the seventh. Down to their last 2 outs, and now strike 2. 1-2 to Ethan Evanson. Top of the order next. Bowden Simon due up. He doubled and struck out twice, so at least he's got a double to his credit. And here's a pitch. Just outside. 2-2. Cale Becker looks in, fires. There's a grounder over his glove to second base. Close play at first. Safe, he says. It was close. We don't have a replay. But I could have called it either way from here. That looked really close. But they're going to call Evanson safe. Walters makes his way to third. So runners at the corners with 1 out. And now top of the order, Bowden Simon, who doubled and has struck out twice. Becker, the lefty, looks in, checks the runners, and now he's pausing, takes his foot off the rubber and regathers himself. Runners get their leads at the corners. Simon steps in. Here's the pitch, and it's dribbled down the third baseline, and it's going to be, off the plate, foul ball. So we'll do it again. 0-1 to Simon. Hit his toe. Talking to the ump about it, giving him a couple seconds extra to walk it off. 0-1, 1 out, runners at the corners. Leadoff batter Simon is up for the 4th time. That one's outside. 1-1. Becker is ready. Checks the runners, pitches, and that's blasted to left. It's foul, not a play. 1-2 to Simon. Bowden is a junior third baseman. And at the bottom of the first, he took the first pitch and ripped it to the left for a double. And this one's foul, third base side. So we'll do it again at 1-2. 2 outs to go for Hayfield here, and they earned themselves another shutout. They've been doing that a lot lately. 3 of their last 4 wins were shutouts. Of course, they've all been wins for them, 16-0. Number 1 in the state, Class A. Catcher is talking to Becker about being sure he sets before moving toward the plate. You don't want to get any balks or anything. And 1-2 is the count. 1 out here, bottom of the 7th. 6-0 Hayfield, and then the pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-2. 2-2 with runners at the corners. Lifted straight in the air. Catcher calls it just in foul territory. Actually lands in fair territory right at the plate there, and he makes the catch. And Max Nelson comes up now with 2 down. They're down to their last out. Want to pop up to the catcher. Still runners at the corners, 2 down. Nelson struck out twice and popped out to the pitcher. And he's the last hope for the Eagles right now, as they trail 6-zip here in the bottom of the 7th at home. And he hits one foul, third base side, strike 1. Becker, well, I thought he was going to throw it first, but he delivers home, and that was inside for a ball, 1-1. Those lefties, you can sometimes you can't tell what they're doing. They have such a clear shot at first. Runners have got to be aware when there's lefties, and they've had the 2 lefties, Fritcher and Becker. Now it's 2-1 to Nelson with 2 outs. Runners at the corners. The pitch. Swing and a miss. So down to their last strike here. He got a piece of that one. 2-2. 2 outs. Runners at the corners. And Becker to Nelson. Here's the pitch. And he hits it in the air. Pitcher calls it and drifts over, makes the catch near the third baseline, and that'll be the ball game. A 6-0 shutout for Hayfield over Maple River here in Minnesota Lake. It was a good ball game. You can tell both squads have solid teams. Hayfield just a little bit better today. 6-0 shutout. They got 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 7th. So they spread them out. And Maple River held in there, had some chances, couldn't score themselves, and it ends up 6-0 on the Vikings Realty scoreboard. Actually, no, it's the Nordis American Homes scoreboard. I'm sorry. Your hometown lumberyard, Nordis American Homes. Designing and building your new home is an exciting time, and a time for you to meet the Nordis team. You can do that by calling 800-658-7076. Again, thanks to Nordis American Homes of Minnesota Lake Sports Headquarters, Highway 22 in Mapleton. Mapleton Farm and Home of Mapleton. Hodgman Drainage in Dodge Center. Viking Realty of Hayfield. Absolute Ag of Hayfield. And Southeast Minnesota Real Estate of Hayfield as well. Again, the final 6-0 Hayfield coming into Minnesota Lake, taking on the homestanding Maple River Eagles. 6-0 as they head towards the finish line of the regular season, and sections are already going to be played starting Saturday with some play-in games. As soon as we get a schedule together, we'll figure out what we're going to do for sections. But our next game, hopefully, is from New Richland tomorrow. Softball action, NRHEG hosting Hayfield in softball at 4:30 start time. So we'll see if that happens. Until then, thanks, Reg, for the technical support. And thank you for listening and viewing to Power 96 Sports.